you guys. Hello. I just went live in my challenge group boot camp that I have going on right now, and I talked to them all about nutrition, meal planning, meal prepping, and all of that, and basically just gave my tips and what works for me and what's been working for the last 3 years. And I thought about it and I was like, gosh, I feel like maybe this could be useful to share with you guys too. So take it or leave it, that's okay. Maybe you already have something that works really well for you, that's awesome. But if maybe you're struggling and you're not really sure where to start with meal planning and meal prepping, I thought I'd just come on here and kind of talk through what I've been doing. So what I do is I follow what's called a container system, and basically it is portion control. And the reason that I follow that and the reason that that's worked well for me is because I need some sort of balance. I need a way to be able to track my food without having to write everything down, count every single calorie, and still have some freedom with it. Still be able to have my glass of wine or two or whatever it may be, but not beat myself up when I do that, right? I come from a very toxic relationship with food. Very, very toxic. I was unhealthy. I had an eating disorder, and I found that I was lacking that control, although all I wanted was the control, right? So this container system has worked really well for me because it gives me that balance. It still gives me the sense of control that I need, but in a healthy way. So when I'm making a meal plan, what I do is I know how many containers, and when I'm talking about this container system, basically what it is how many greens I should be getting in. That's vegetables. How many reds I should be getting in. That's protein. How many yellows. That's carbs. In the different types of food groups, basically. Putting it all together and making it into an easy color-coded system. So when I'm sitting down to make my meal plan, you guys, I'm a little crazy. I have a spreadsheet that I created, and it helps me know, okay, so if we're going to have this for dinner, let's say I'm obsessed with this Big Mac salad recipe that I make. So let's say we're having a Big Mac salad recipe. Okay, well, I know that that's going to be my line for dinner, and it's going to get me in probably 1.5 to 2 of my green containers, which is, again, my vegetables. So I know that that's taken care of there because that's got the lettuce, that's got the onions and the tomatoes and the pickles, like that's that side, right? I also know it's going to be a red container for me, which is a protein, because I am using, we use ground turkey for that one. So there's a meat that's put into there. There's a protein, right? I know also that I'm going to be using some Thousand Island dressing. And yes, Thousand Island dressing, not the healthiest for you, but you know what? You only live once. And it's freaking delicious. But I also know that I have this really cute little orange container that can fit my salad dressing in it. It's plenty for a serving, and it gets me in one of my containers that way. Whereas I used to just say, okay, well, I'm going to just have a little bit of Thousand Island, and I would put it on my salad, and then I'm like, oh, it's probably not enough. So one more spoonful. And by the time I got done, my salad was swimming in Thousand Island dressing, right? So now I actually measure it out. It's just a little bit, keeps me more on track and balanced. And so that all adds up to my meal. So oftentimes when people are talking to me about this container system, they're like, okay, first off, no thank you, because I don't want to eat a green container of lettuce. And I just want to stop you there and say that is not the point. I would not be following this and wouldn't be on year 3 of doing this if I had to eat a container of salad, like literally just lettuce. No thank you. It's the recipes you find, you put it all together, and that's how you use the container system, not by just eating lettuce, not by just eating some ground turkey in a container. Like, that sounds terrible. I wouldn't do it either. But you put them all together and it makes a really satisfying meal. And another question people ask all the time is, well, where do you find the recipes, right? So I find them on a few different spots. First off, when I started this whole thing, I was like, okay, I need a spot where I can save recipes. And what better place than Pinterest, right? So I have a Pinterest board that I save all my recipes to, and I share that with all of the people in my boot camp, because then they can access it and they can add to it. So it's like this giant recipe book in Pinterest. And so I just reference that. When I'm looking for recipes, I literally just grab my phone. I might be able to get to it, and just I can show you guys kind of what it looks like. I literally just grab it, and it's probably going to take a minute now to open here. And then when I am looking for ideas, it's called 21 Day Fix Recipes because that's the plan that I'm following. And you can see, I literally just go on and save all the recipes that I've tried and liked or that I want to try, right? So there's some fun ones for like the holidays and things like that. But it just kind of goes on and on and on. And that's how I found the Big Mac salad recipe was through Pinterest. The other place that I get a lot of my recipes from, if I can get it to load, we shall see, is the app that I use. And let's see if I can get to it. I will show you guys if I can find it here. Maybe just a moment. Oh, here it is. Okay. So it's this app that I use, and this is called Fixate, and it's actually under the materials section, there is a Fixate recipe list. It's going to take a second, but it's going to open, and hopefully, I have to download it. Basically what that looks like is, this is the other spot that I get probably 75% of my recipes from, but you just open it up and you can see here, it's got all the different recipes listed. So if we were to go to one, let's just go to like, I'll show you kind of what it looks like. This is a breakfast recipe. So I'll try to zoom in a little. Autumn's banana apple muffins. Okay. So you can see it's got like the directions, it's got all the ingredients, and at the top here, if you guys can see that, it's got two little colored dots, basically, they're little squares. Purple and a blue dot. Okay, so that is the container system. That is how the containers are used to make a recipe. So all of these are broken out and tell you exactly how many containers you're using to put into a recipe. So it's not like you're just eating lettuce, right? So those are kind of where I get my recipes from. The Fixate board, or I'm sorry, the Pinterest board, the Fixate app that I'm using, the blog that I use, and then also my good old friend Google. Like literally just Google all the time, and that's how I get a lot of recipes. So finding them on those platforms has worked really well for me. Then, in terms of meal, like prepping, this is the question I get all the time. How do I meal prep effectively? You guys, my life is different than what yours probably is. Right now, it's me and it's Ty, and we live together, and that's it. We only have to take care of ourselves. We don't have any dependents. We don't have any kiddos. We don't have that responsibility. So it's a lot easier for us. And if you have kids, I highly recommend trying to set a time where it's just meal prep time. Like maybe you tell the hubby like, hey, I need you to take the kids for like an hour and I don't know, go to the park, go do something. Let me just get our meal prep done. Because if you have kids and you're shuttling them all over the place and you're busy, it's gonna be probably hard to get it all done during the week. But for us, I'm blessed right now where Ty is actually home. So he is doing all of our meal prepping, our meal planning, like all of that. Well, I do the meal planning typically, but he gets all the groceries and he makes all the dinners. But before he was home, I did that because it was my meal plan I was following. Now he's doing it with me, so we're in it together. But before that, it was just me. So I had to make all the food because I wanted to make sure it was being made according to my meal plan. Now he's obviously following the plan, but he's eating way more than I am, like so much more. It's insane how much he eats now. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But when it comes to the meal prepping part, you don't have to meal prep everything to be successful. Usually what I do, and I'm a leftovers person, so this works for me, but if you're not, this probably wouldn't work well for you. Whatever we have for dinner the night before is what becomes my lunch the next day. Breakfast is the same every single day. I have my superfood shake and some hard-boiled eggs or some egg cups because that gets me in a protein, well, 2 proteins because my shake counts as 1, my eggs count for 2, and then I actually add spinach to my shakes because I needed some more greens, so add that in, and you know, you've got the liberty of kind of mixing things up. So that's what I do. It's pretty simple. It's not that intricate. It's not complicated. Once you just get past the fact of, you know, create recipes and figure out what you like. We repeat so much. You guys, we literally have homemade pizza every Friday night. Every Friday. It's just what we do. But if you find the recipes you like, repeat them. keep them in a cycle, save them somewhere so that you can reference them again and, you know, easily be able to trigger your memory like, oh yeah, we really liked that one, or we should really have that one again, or we haven't had that in a while, whatever it is. But those are my tips for you. I hope that it was helpful. It's what, again, works for us. It may or may not work for you, but I just thought I would share that with you guys. I hope you have the most amazing day. If you guys have any specific questions on anything when it comes to nutrition or fitness or whatever it is, just our life in general, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always an open book and happy to share. Bye, guys.